here Brent and I are preachers, and we always go long, you know. And so they put us at the back and force us to go short. Very interesting. So I've just been asked to just share for just a couple of minutes on how does a local pastor encourage love of Israel. Jerome said in the 4th century that there are 5 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and the land of Israel. So as a pastor, I have studied the Bible, I've preached the Bible for over 40 years. It's been a part of my life. But about 15 years ago, I had the chance to go to Israel. And I was overwhelmed. The Bible came alive to me in a way that it had never happened before. And as I went through Israel and hiked the land, I wanted this for my people. So, in 7 additional trips since that time, including just over a year ago when 30 of us went, I have taken many of my people to Israel. People who have studied the Bible for years, who have loved God, but in the land they have found as Christians that they've come home. We have stood in Capernaum on the site of the synagogue where Jesus delivered a demon-possessed man. We have stood on the southern steps leading up to the temple where the church was born. We have been in Bet-Shan where the bodies of Saul and Jonathan were nailed to the wall. We have felt the merciless power of Rome as we have stood and walked on top of Masada. We have been in what in Jesus' day was a very evil place in Caesarea Philippi, where Jesus said, "On this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it." And you know, as I have taken many of my people to Israel, some of them have cried all the way through the land. Paul said that Gentiles are a grafted branch to the olive tree root of Israel. We don't support the root, he said, but the root supports us. Now I understand that modern Israel is a secular state and many Jewish people don't even know their religious heritage. They make good calls and bad calls like any government. However, Israel and its people is the land and people of promise. So, I have a little rock that I have here. I picked this rock up out of the gravel at Tel Azekah. Tel Azekah was a fortified city that went from Israelite hands to Philistine hands, and at the time it was in Philistine hands, and the people in this fortified city looked down at the valley of Elah as David faced Goliath. This isn't a round stone, it's not big enough. I took 4 more from the gravel, so I have 5 stones from the valley of Elah. And it reminds me about what God did there. And it reminds me of what David said, and I think it was very appropriate for that day, and I think it's very appropriate for this day. For David said, "All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's."